both the party and government. They are a repository of the institutional memory of the party ethos, principles, and programs. They are much on the advisory side. And the president and first secretary of the party, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, said, "We revere you. We need your counsel," as he opened the 26th ordinary session of the National Consultative Assembly.
We thank you as the senior leadership of the party for the guidance, motivation, and wise counsel which you continue to provide to the generality of our membership. This extends not only to party building, unity and discipline, but on the importance of production and productivity. The success, modernization and industrialization of our economy, including the realization of Vision 2030, in part, lies in the full utilization of our God-given land and the water resources. So far, our collective efforts are yielding fruit, with the agriculture sector realizing record-breaking harvests in strategic crops such as maize, wheat, and tobacco. We must carry on being able to feed ourselves at both household and national levels, as well as providing the necessary raw materials to our growing industrial sector.
The president said, with the summer cropping season in progress, he had disturbing news of certain people who are not doing what is expected in the delivery of inputs.
The party, farm organizations, government ministries, and departments should strengthen cooperation and work in unity towards a successful summer cropping season. I want to reiterate that all inputs must reach our farmers and benefit all our communities. We should not be selective. Ndonzwa kuti kumwe vamwe vashandi ve-agritech kumatunu vari kunyima vanhu mbeu. Saka Ministry ye-Agriculture ngaigadzirise izvozvo.
The president also touched on the issue of the National Development Strategy tool, saying all indicators have indicated that everything is on course.
I count on you, members of the National Consultative Assembly who are here today, as the fountain of wisdom and experience to guide our structures and ensure that the party continues to achieve transformational results across the board. While we remain aware that the primary responsibility to build our motherland, Zimbabwe, rests on our shoulders, we are also strengthening partnerships with other progressive countries to accelerate productivity as well as grow our economy. Zimbabwe is, as we've always said, a friend to all and an enemy to none. Those who choose to work with us must respect that we are an independent people and a sovereign country. We want a win-win partnership that benefits our people. We say no to rider and the horse type of investment relations. All investors are called upon to respect our laws, our traditions, and our customs. However, dialogue and mutually beneficial relations between our investors and communities should always be encouraged.
The ZANU-PF calendar has ended today with the final remarks by the President and First Secretary of the party, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, who told members of the Consultative Assembly that don't pay heed to sideshows, remain guided by our party principles, our constitution, and the ethos of the party.
Let us be wary of sideshows, misinformation, and falsehoods peddled by some detractors bent on distracting our party from our core objective of realizing Vision 2030. We are a united party, and we will forever remain united.
The President said, this is a solid party with a mammoth following, and you have a duty as members of the Consultative Assembly to go and continuously build on what the party has been doing in the past year.
Our revolutionary wartime song, Nzira Dzemasoja, hakuna dunhu munyika risina makomrades akabva kuhondo. So kana musingaizivi kuti rwiyo runorevei, bvunzai makomrades akanga ari kuhondo akufundisei nzira dzemasoja mudzimbe.
We are the architects of the Zimbabwean economy, he underscored. Zimbabwe can only be built by its own people, as other countries are building their own countries. Don't play a second fiddle to any country, he said. Ruben Barwes, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, members of the ZANU-PF Women's League and the Young Women for ED have become the latest beneficiaries of vehicles handed over by the ruling party's president and First Secretary, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa. The Youth League, as well as members of the Central Committee, have in the past few months benefited from the President's Empowerment Initiative.
It was indeed a day of joy and celebration here at State House as the ZANU-PF President and First Secretary, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, handed over cars and cash to the ZANU-PF Women's League and the Young Women for ED.
This is what the party has been able to do for you. We have 6 Land Cruisers. Women's League executives. Saka the top 6 executives. Women's League. One Land Cruisers. 6. Then 10 double cabs for those who have not benefited from the car scheme before. 10. So we have 10. 5 double cabs for young women. 1 national and 4 provinces.
ZANU-PF Women's League Secretary Comrade Mabel Chinomona celebrated the handover of the vehicle, saying this will enhance the job of the Women's League and that the league has felt celebrated and seen by its president and first secretary.
Say Women's League, tanga takanyara nguwa yose wamwe chipiwa wamwe chita sei mufunga takumbokomblena asi nhasi zvativhundutsa kunzi tisu takupiwawo tichipiwa mikwende yakadai nevana wedu vasikana vechidiki mayoung women. Aiwa, zvinoreva kuti isu ndisu tinofanira kuramba takamira nababa. 2030 yacho ndisu tichaisimudza kudai, hatisi kuzomira kuti pangawawanike angazorwadziwa here. Isisu hatisi kurwadziwa, tine mufaro wakanyanya.
The Young Women for ED, led by Comrade Tatinda Mavetera, also celebrated the handover of the cash and vehicles by President Mnangagwa.
Zvichatibetsera kuti kwanise kurecha out kuma provinces kwese tichimeka sure kuti vana vedu vanenge vachienda vachinomobilize ma first time voters. As Young Women for ED, donzvo redu ratinaro nderekuti we want kuva tichienderana nedonzvo rine ZANU-PF rekuti tikwanise kuva tichiita yatinoti isusu fishers of men. So naizvozvo iye zvinoti kukwanisa kuwana mukana wekuti zvinoita kuenda kunotora vasikana vechidiki, madzimai echidiki vachinzwisisa zvinoitika nemabasa ari kuitwa napresident uye nezvanofanira kuti vaite kuti vakwanise kuva chipinda musangano wedu weZANU-PF. Andoda kunditende zvakare taimpawiwa zvakare nemari ichaenda iyo kumaprovinces kwedu. Ndoda kunditende kuti iye zvino tine maprojects atiri kuita ehuku, tine maprojects atiri kuita embudzi, maprojects enguruve atiri kuita kumaprovinces kwese. So nokuimpawa kwataita uku ndoda kunditende president waMnangagwa.
The ZANU-PF party continues to roll out various projects meant to empower people across the country through the Presidential Empowerment Fund. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, State House.
Visiting Afreximbank President Dr. George Ilombi met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House earlier today, where the discussions were focusing on enhancing trade for Africa's economic development.
In 2026, the Afreximbank is hoping to open its doors to the trade center located here in the capital, Harare, that is expected to enhance trade facilities as well as provide financial services and, of course, hotel services. The Afreximbank President, Dr. George Ilombi, met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa here at State House, where deliberations are focused on the progress that has been made in the construction of the trade center and the opportunities it will present for Zimbabwe, the region, and the African continent.
It was an extensive discussion, but all focused on economic affairs, entirely on the economic field. As you know, Afreximbank has been in Zimbabwe, strongly supporting the country for a very long time. So we came to discuss with the head of state what areas of support that we could be doing. And those were in logistics interventions, in the creation of industrial zones, in an African center of quality, so that we can test our own goods here before they go abroad. That's in the headquarters, the regional office that Afreximbank is constructing in Zimbabwe to cover the Southern African region. That is in the power sector, the support we should be providing for that. That is in dealing with the congestion on the Beira corridor, which brings the goods into the country, which is heavily congested now, and we think it's time we intervene to have those matters resolved.
The Afreximbank president further stated that the body is hoping to use the trade center to enhance regional and continental trade, as is aspired by the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The African Intra-African Trade Fair head office, it's been decided in Afreximbank that it should be located here in Zim. So we're going through with the various ministries, include especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so that is formalized, and the center is created here. The headquarters are built, the trade fairs begin to be organized, and that implies obviously that we have to construct a massive, several hectareage, maybe 200 hectares of space needed to accommodate such an infrastructure.
Over the years, the Afreximbank has supported Zimbabwe through various means, including the provision of lines of credit for trade as well as availability of foreign currency in the agricultural sector, as well as infrastructural development that includes the construction of the Afreximbank Africa Trade Center, which is nearing completion. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, State House.
Now, our business editor Stanley James was also covering that visit by the Afreximbank delegation, and in the following report, he covers how they have been impressed by the progress in the construction of the African Trade Center, which the commissioning is set for early next year.
The building, which is located at the intersection of Herbert Chitepo Avenue and 7th Street in Harare, is wholly being funded by Afreximbank at a cost of over $80 million United States dollars. The center will be home to regional banks and regional offices, and will include a hotel, conference center, and a trade information center. In an interview with the ZBC News on the site this Friday, Afreximbank Executive Vice President Mr. Dennis Denya expressed satisfaction at the project in terms of meeting set deadline standards.
This building symbolizes that we are putting our roots here for the very long term. As the President has indicated, it's also meant to attract investment into this area, into the CBD. We will be providing trade services in this building in addition to accommodation. So it will be a center for trade in Africa.
Afreximbank says that the project reflects its commitment to further increase business ties with the government of Zimbabwe.
Since this building, as you see it, is also supposed to trigger on the sidelines what we call in this area, we would be calling in this area a digital city, an ICT city. So all these buildings, residential and otherwise, would follow, and the whole of this area is transformed. So that's what transformation is. You do the one thing, that triggers the other things that create the change that everyone wants.
Afreximbank, headquartered in Cairo, Egypt, is a pan-African multilateral financier whose thrust is on financing development projects and providing financial support to member states on fiscal and monetary projects. Zimbabwe, as a member of the institution, has benefited in terms of funding for several productive units, with the African Trade Center expected to transform the country's real estate sector landscape. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe is intensifying its climate resilience efforts with a plant tissue laboratory being established at the Forestry Commission of Zimbabwe headquarters in Harare in order to advance conservation science.
This is Zimbabwe's first specialized tree tissue culture laboratory with state-of-the-art equipment, with expectations to churn out over 1 million seedlings per year.
Tissue culture enables us to have plants at higher scale, which are disease-free. So our process starts from this, where we do what we call germination of seeds, and then we get our explant from that germination. We multiply it to this stage, and it goes to the rooting stage.
With tissue culture, just go into the wild, collect parts of the plant that you want to deal with, then you come into the laboratory and you culture it. So there's now constant supply of seed, no matter how bad the climate was for that particular year. So there's no longer seasonality in terms of seedling production.
The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu, stressed the need of capacitating the Forestry Commission to ensure various seed varieties are produced throughout the year.
The opening of this plant tissue culture laboratory, it directly strengthens our capacity to supply high-quality, disease-free, genetically improved planting materials that will support national tree planting efforts across the country. Communities, schools, churches, farmers, youth groups and institutions are preparing to plant millions of trees as part of our national afforestation program.
Anchored on research and innovation, the laboratory will not only see Zimbabwe reaffirming its commitment to afforestation, but also ensuring communities plant trees. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
On to other news now. Public-private partnerships are transforming the pace of national infrastructure development, with the Lupane-Nkayi-Kwekwe Road emerging as a flagship example of how collaboration with private investors is bearing fruit.
The rehabilitation of the Lupane-Nkayi-Kwekwe Road is progressing. This road will cut the distance between Harare and Vikfors by 170 kilometers.
So far on the progress, we have done about 15 kilometers of road, which is at subgrade level. Base 3, we have done 10 kilometers. Base 2, we have just dumped. All the culverts on the first 10 kilometers we are done. On this project, it's in 2 provinces, that is Midlands and Matabele North. On the Matabele North side, we're expecting to do 30 kilometers as of next year. Then on the Midlands side, we're putting another team again, which is going to do 30 kilometers.
Ancillary infrastructure such as way bridges to curb overloading and toll plazas for revenue collection are key features of the project. The partnership being implemented on a build, operate and transfer BOT arrangement is not only delivering infrastructure but strengthening local capacity.
This is a local contractor. The works that we are doing, local contractors, 100% Zimbabwean content. That is what also gives us joy and pleasure in the ministry. We are capacitating our own people, our own engineers.
The economic benefits will extend far beyond road users.
Currently, Manise is using the Lupane, Bulawayo and coming back. So if they're going to use this route, it means the cost of the raw materials is going to be what? Reduced. Meaning the price of steel also go at, there are many, just to mention a few.
With 150 skilled workers already on site and multiple construction teams planned for 2025, the project set for completion in 2029 stands as a proof that PPCs are not only viable but also essential for Zimbabwe's infrastructure ambitions. It is also likely to reduce the cost of services and goods that used to pass through Bulawayo. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
The inquiry for Joani Masowe Echi Shanu Apostolic Sect leader Mazbaba Ishmael has been postponed to the 18th of this month.
The inquiry has been moved to the 18th of this month after the state indicated that they want to summon a witness from the Department of Social Welfare. The witness is expected to give testimony during the victim impact assessment proceedings. The state also indicated that Mazbaba Ishmael must go for age estimation to verify his age and HIV testing. Mazbaba Ishmael remains in custody. He was convicted of sexually assaulting a female follower who was 14 years old at the time the offense was committed. The offender used his power and influence to unlawfully engage in sexual intercourse with the victim between February 2023 and March 2024. The victim gave birth to a baby girl in January 2024 as a result of the unlawful act. DNA tests confirmed that the offender is the biological father of the child. The matter came to light in March 2024 through a tip-off prompting the rescue of the victim from a safe house in Mfakose, Harare. He was convicted after a full trial and now awaits sentencing. Fungai Jechi, ZBC News, Harare.
Over 5,000 housing units have been built in Hooflight and Mahaba areas of Umkuza Rural District Council and the Bulawayo City Council as part of government's accelerated presidential housing scheme.
The modern housing units built under the Accelerated Presidential Housing Scheme are now complete, with the Bulawayo and Umkuza local authorities now collaborating to connect water and sewer reticulation systems.
We have an agreement already with the Umkuza RTC and the developers to connect them on water and sewer.
Thina njengemguza lathi sikubona kuqhakathekile ukuthi sidlelane le Bulawayo City Council ngoba kunenge singakucela kibo labo becele futhi kithi.
The Accelerated Presidential Housing Scheme is expected to provide decent and affordable houses for civil servants and the citizenry.
The President said by 2030 we must first achieve an upper middle income economy status, and this is the road to that achievement. In the area of housing, you can see these are modern houses in the high density areas that are being developed in terms of ensuring that the services are provided before people move in. You can see that there are tarred roads, water is now connected, the sewer is now connected. So this is, we are speaking not anymore to the existence of informal settlements. This is a well-planned, well-governed settlement, and this is what Vision 2030 is all about.
The housing scheme is part of efforts to advance the vision to attain an upper middle income society by 2030. Lisa Kodira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Zimbabwe universities have been honored with top awards at the just-ended Regional Universities Forum for Agricultural Development in Botswana, with the performance being attributed to national support under the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
The just-ended forum saw Great Zimbabwe University win the award for Best Exhibition Stand, while the University of Zimbabwe received an appreciation award for successfully hosting the 2022 AGM.
Thank you very much indeed, Zimbabwe, and thank you very much indeed, Great Zimbabwe University, for the performance which has brought us here and which has given us this award.
What we celebrate most is that our government, through the leadership of our President, His Excellency Mnangagwa, we continue to enjoy the support.
We are quite delighted to receive the recognition, a certificate of appreciation for our ably hosting this Roof Forum event in 2022, which was opened by His Excellency and Chancellor of State Universities, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Damzo Mnangagwa. The significance of that is it means people are still with us in understanding how our heritage-based education 5.0 is actually influencing the thinking on the African continent.
Congratulating the winners, Botswana's Deputy Permanent Secretary and the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Professor Agreement Jotia, commended Zimbabwe's academic leadership.
Zimbabwe has been the powerhouse of African intellectualism for quite some time. A lot of students from here in Botswana, they went to school in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is one of those countries that has a curriculum that is quite robust in our view, and we are actually not perplexed by the fact that the country has won quite a couple of awards here.
The accolades underscore Zimbabwe's sustained influence in shaping higher education and innovation across Africa. Nyasha Makota, ZBC News, Gaborone.
We have more news on our website. You can visit on www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also share with us your feedback via our social media platforms, that is our X handle, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel, or under the banner ZBC News Online.
And still ahead on the main news, music lovers are set to enjoy a diverse lineup of events this weekend.
We'll also be taking a look at our sports news as Captain Marvelous Nakamba joins the Warriors team ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The main news takes a short break. Stay with us.
Zimbabwe inhaka yedu. Zimbabwe is our heritage. This festive season is the right time to travel.
Local is local.
Zimbabwe 2025, #1 destination in the world, according to Forbes magazine. This festive season, travel local and experience our heritage. Zimbabwe, inhaka yedu, ilifa letu. Experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
Murewa. Namzu. Sasa ile kunaka anditika. Saka sei usiri kudya huku. Mashura. Salsa nakapfura huku. Asi why badna? Sasa ile rakabikwa nechibage che National Test Seed. Ndosaka mamaster farmer achenda ku National Tested Seed.
Shandisa imbeu dzemaguta NTS 51, NTS 45 kana NTS 43 imbewu dzine early to medium maturity dzinokupa goho vakuru up to 10 tons per hectare zvakare ine high drought resistance. Manya pachitoro chiri pedyo newe ubate yako. Shandisa mbeu yesadza, national tested seed, mbeu yehurudza.
Welcome back. This is the main news. Now, the government has called for a collective action in the fight against gender-based violence as the 16 days of activism against the scourge approach the home stretch.
The advent of new technologies come with digital abuse that has seen government scaling up campaigns against the scourge that is threatening social cohesion and national development. The Minister of Women's Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, who presided over the provincial commemorations of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, GBV, at Manzununu Primary School in Mutare Rural, and the annual GBV commemorations hosted by Allied Timbers in Mutare, called for collective action from various stakeholders.
This theme is a clarion call to everyone to step up efforts towards addressing gender-based violence, both online and offline. Taiwana yayitika ikuitika pa social media yatatorwa na maizurutiwa. Ikoko kutola abuse iko. Government aidi zvachose nyaya gender-based violence. And the commitment is coming from the highest office. President Wedu, pane inonzi high-level political compact on ending gender-based violence and harmful practices, which is a commitment from the highest level to say we don't want gender-based violence. President Wakasaina.
Allied Timbers pledged its commitment to improving GBV reporting channels, creating safe spaces for female employees, and advancing their empowerment.
Deliberately, we have been promoting ladies to positions previously reserved for men. As you know, this is a male-dominated environment. But now we are proud to have ladies driving forklifts, operating CNC machines, overseeing the truss machines, overseeing the operating overhead cranes, and we also have ladies managing or overseeing the engineering departments across our operations.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, underscored the need for the whole of society approach in fighting the societal vices.
Our province has experienced a rise in notable incidences of gender-based violence, GBV, with child marriages being particularly alarming. According to the MIC survey, Manicaland province ranks third in child marriages, prompting us to implement various interventions to address this critical issue. We take pride in collaborating with proactive private sector partners, such as Allied Timbers, which recognizes that the battle against gender-based violence must commence within its own institutional framework.
This year's commemorations are being held under the theme Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
On that note, we now cross over to Montrose Studios in Bulawayo, where Dora Ngobe is on standby. Good evening, Dora.
Good evening, Mona Lisa, and many thanks for taking us on, as well as the team at Pocket Cell. Government has reaffirmed its commitment to building infrastructure that is fully accessible to persons with disabilities. This was revealed at the Disabilities Rights Conference in Bulawayo this Friday.
As the conference wraps up today, it is clear that the major takeaway is the government has reaffirmed its commitment to providing accessible infrastructure to persons with disabilities.
The president has been moving with the mantra of saying leaving no one and no place behind. And as local government, we have embarked on a journey to motivate and encourage our local authorities that in their planning, in their designs, in their bylaws, they should plan and design with people with disabilities in mind. So it also speaks into their budgeting, because as you know, there's a lot of old infrastructure that these local authorities have, and these buildings do not speak into accessibility for persons with disability.
In addition to policy commitments, researchers have been urged to embrace artificial intelligence to develop new tools and technologies that support people with disabilities in terms of providing mobility, communication, and access to essential services.
AI-driven technologies are expensive for disabled people. And so if local developers and researchers, as well as policymakers and businesses come together, they can work out a way of making sure that the cost of these things, if they are produced locally, they don't become a barrier for persons with disabilities in this country.
Stakeholders now hope that the commitments made here will now translate into real action on the ground. Nolin Chafunduka, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
People with disabilities have commended the Second Republic for implementing inclusive development initiatives, which include the disability policy.
In Kadoma, people with disabilities say inclusion is no longer just a promise, but a lived reality. Just a week ago, 15 of their members received residential stands from a local land developer, while many testify of improved access to social services and increased engagements in empowerment opportunities. The constituency has fully embraced programs aligned with the National Disability Policy, emphasizing continued dialogue between government, churches and organizations representing people with disability being key to ensuring program implementation.
Wakaiswa na president uri kutaura zvakati nezvakati nezvakati saka apa matidzvinyirira apa matiomesera.
Ndo wakufara naye zvakaitwa nevamwe vangu vana great men because vana great men vanhu vari kuitawo like a foundation yekutora mauche vachinopawo vamwe kudetsera people with disability saka izvozvo tozvipa kuzvitenda kuna baba vedu vaMnangagwa.
We are so grateful ndosaka tiri pano to endorse the resolution ya 2030 that the president has to continue basa ravakatanga kuti ripedziswe.
Zimbabwe Amalgamated Council of Churches, ZAC leaders, welcomed the collaboration, noting the important role faith-based institutions play in supporting vulnerable groups and promoting community-driven development.
So church yakanakira kuti inotibatsira kuti tisarwi mukati menyika mapoliticians tiwirirane whether uri opposition kana kuti uri ruling party vanogona kuti vanhu muyanane zvakanaka like the president is doing asi kusarudza kuti kuna opposition anotovadaidza kuti uyai neopposition whatever you are opposing uyai nazvo ndikoti ndikwanise kugadzira nyika idini iende mberi.
Against this background, people with disabilities for ED leadership convened a meeting with the church leaders where their national chairperson, Comrade Jemaya Mduvuyi, commended government for implementing the disability policy.
As a disabled person in Zimbabwe, we are 100% recognized. President Mnangagwa akasaina vakatarisa kuti we consider disability. Ndoza mwana wachingoti munakaenda kuti ndorachakati ari disabled mpe mota mpe zvakati vari kuziva kuti disability musazvitori afanika musiri kwenyu musazvitori afanika tisa president wedu handizvo saka disability bill rakapa ndo chemo zvamamati pakuno.
The Second Republic, through its inclusive policy of leaving no one and no place behind, has established a disability desk in public service to cater for the needs of people with disabilities. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
Veterans of the liberation struggle in Kwekwe district have received more than 10,000 United States dollars from the Presidential Empowerment Fund as startup for various empowerment projects. Courage Bushe was in Kwekwe and filed the following report.
The Second Republic's efforts to honor and uplift veterans of the liberation struggle were on display in Kwekwe district during the disbursement of empowerment funds to the freedom fighters. The initiative, which is in line with the President Emmerson Mnangagwa's vision for inclusive development under Vision 2030, will see the former freedom fighters venturing into various life-changing projects.
Maproject akauya ari kutibatsira mabhoo drills kupfuya mombe zvizvesetiwa saka tinotenda nenyaya iyo zvese zvichiitika.
Taakuzviwana asi taigara tichitongozvishuwa asi izvizvi zvakuratidze musiyano.
Chirongwa chauya nehurumende ichi tachifarira zvikuru, taakuona kuti taakuonekwawo sevanhu muhurumende.
A government says the initiative aligns with the Constitution, which recognizes the role of veterans of the liberation struggle before and after independence.
Here in Midlands Province, we've already allocated land to our war veterans in Kwekwe and Shishawane. More land is coming. The Presidential War Veterans Fund, borehole drilling and village business programs. Fellow comrades, the Midlands Province commends the veterans of the liberation struggle who continue to lead by example by remaining solidly behind the leadership of His Excellency the President, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa.
Since the inception of the Second Republic in November 2017, the welfare of war veterans is being prioritized through various empowerment initiatives.
The Chiredzi community has heightened efforts to fight the growing menace of drug and substance abuse with an awareness campaign held at Gibo Stadium in Triangle this Thursday, attracting school children from 22 schools.
Although issues of gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies were also part of the day's agenda, the bad influence of drug and substance abuse took center stage, with participants rallying students to reject harmful substances.
Iwo ma-drugs ataurwaya atigoni kuzopedzisira takuopta for drugs deitanga tiri mentally stable. Chinotozoita kuti ndifunge kuti ma-drugs ndo yava solution yangu is because pane zviri kuitika kupfungwa zvinoda kuti ndibatsirwe. Saka ma-drugs, they are not good for you. Kana waona kuti zvanyanya kukuomera sterek, seek help. Tsvagano kubatsira.
Ma-drugs atinawo ari kunyanya kushandiswa nemi ari kuzotiita kuti imimi vana musazova vana vakanaka kana kuti mubude masocial media muchiita zvinhu zviri fani so akafanana nembanje.
Asi zviri kutoonekwa kuti muno muZimbabwe yedu inoi sekuti muno mutauni muno 15% yevanhu vane nhumbu vanhu vari below 20. Mamuchizvifunga izvozvo? Mamusingazvitarisira nditika mamuchiti hakuna zvakadaro. Asi tikaenda kumaruwa, kuma-rural settings, about 30% yevanhu vane nhumbu vanhu vari below 20. Saka motoona kuti vanhu vane dambudziko handiti.
If so, to arm students with information to make responsible choices.
We've had an opportunity to listen to health professionals. We've also had an opportunity to listen to police officers that spoke about issues to do with domestic violence, issues to do with gender-based violence, and also drug abuse.
This collective condemnation of drug abuse by community leaders, the corporate sector, and students underscores the urgent need for a unified approach to protect the next generation from various social ills. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
And that's it from myself, Dora Ngube, and the Montrose crew, wishing you a lovely weekend ahead. Mona Lisa, it's back to you.
Thank you, Dora. We now proceed with the main news from Pockets Hill, where positive imaging on national interests remain a critical pillar to national development, with the media providing a crucial platform to combat misinformation.
37 officers from the Zimbabwe National Army received certificates after completing a public relations and journalism induction course. Their line of focus requires them to be champions to enhancing positive perception on the country, as well as raising awareness to national needs, according to the guest of honor, General Staff Officer Grade 1 Diaries Chikwature.
You must always remember that media as the fourth estate
You serve as the crucial watchdog of the Zimbabwe National Army's operations and training, reporting on the organization's actions and being a vital tool of information dissemination. You should therefore shape public perception through entertainment and the evolving landscape of media technology and social media.
In the era of misinformation, it is critical that the media dispels misconceptions, thus promoting awareness. The Zimbabwe National Army says the Public Relations and Journalism course provides a critical pedestal for officials to learn new skills vital to advancing their careers.
Zimbabwean schools are cementing their influence on the continental stage after a commanding performance at the Pan-African Championships held on the 3rd of this month in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, the competition brought together top learners from across the continent, battling for honors in debate, public speaking, as well as the moot court.
Teachers believe this achievement places learners on a higher path of excellence and exposure.
I'm proud of my students. They outshined in every area. We had moot courts, debates, public speaking. All the areas were well represented, and we won trophies in every part of the competition.
This progress within the education sector marks yet another milestone, signaling rising academic confidence, cultural appreciation, and global competitiveness among Zimbabwean learners. Fungai Jaichi, ZBC News, Harare.
In an industry where the news never sleeps and the microphones are always live, ZBC staffers finally took a break to focus on something they rarely put on their own schedules at the ZBC Wellness Day.
7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go, hold up.
Well, a bit clumsy, but the idea is to get fit. After all, it is the ZBC Wellness Day, and here we are trying to get fit. So today, the producers, the engineers, who normally fine-tune the sound, the audio waves, today we're fine-tuning their heart rates. The goal is to be fit. The goal is to be healthy. And beloved radio presenters traded their silky airwave voices for slightly less coordinated Zumba moves. Even the technical crew, who can set up a live broadcast in minutes, discovered that a tug-of-war rope demands a very different kind and type of skill.
With Zumba, with the tug-of-war, fortunately, some of us slept, but I think we lost and won a few kgs.
It is important because we get to be checked health-wise, our wellness as employees, and also just to get together as employees.
We also got to learn about issues to do with cancer.
You need to be fit all the time, whether it's for sport or just for anything. You need to be fit. You need to know your well-being.
I managed to get time to relieve stress, to refresh. It was really good.
So today I came with my mom, and she made me run some tests like BP, and I had my eye check.
Ndabatwa sugar. Pandaenda past the simas that test was once no sugar and you're very high. Makufana ku maintain health yenyu.
Taita Zumba, tatamba, tasheka, tikadonza mafuta.
But amid the fun came a powerful message from the ZBC Chief Operations Officer, Engineer Tapiwa Mudzamba, who reminded staff why stepping back to breathe is no longer optional.
In a fast-paced and demanding industry like broadcasting, the pressure can often be overwhelming. We are entrusted with delivering information to the public at all hours, and the intensity of our work can sometimes lead us to neglect our own health. That is why we at ZBC are staunch advocates for prioritizing wellness. We believe that a healthy workforce is a productive workforce. Wellness is not merely a buzzword. It encompasses physical health, mental well-being, and emotional stability.
By the end of the day, the usually invisible technical operators, the DJs, the OB crew, and everyone around at ZBC found themselves cheering on one another, united not by a broadcast, but by a powerful reminder that a healthy workforce is a powerful one. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, good to see all the people behind the scenes enjoying their time right there at the ZBC Wellness Day, which took place right here at Pockets Hill today. Well, we take a short break. When we come back, we'll give you the arts.
Festive is here, Shah. First Street lights up, and suddenly the vibe is back. It stretches from Harare to Hollywood, even to Old Trafford. Jesse Jiri Festive. All I want this festive season? The stories that keep us hooked. The ngoma, the rhythm, the laughter, the drama, the goals, the world-class entertainment that brightens up the holidays for the whole family. All I want is DSTV.
Make a date with Clever's Lakeview Resort and Conference Center and indulge yourself in luxury and comfort. Spoil yourself from a choice of 100 elegant deluxe and executive rooms, or pamper yourself in our exclusive self-catering lodges. Feel at home and enjoy the breathtaking views of Lake Kyle and the floral aroma of our elaborate gardens from the comfort of your room. Delight your family with packages ranging from exploring the Great Zimbabwe Monuments, boat cruise, to engaging in safari game drives at the National Park. Our 1,200-seater conference center and boardrooms are well equipped to make sure that all your business needs are taken care of. We also offer the best corporate, church, and school group trips. In addition, we provide shuttle services from our luxury fleet nationwide. Clever's Lakeview Resort and Conference Center offers a 5-star experience, second to none. Clever's Hotels and Resorts, more than just living.
You're watching the main news on ZBC. Thank you for staying with us. We now look at arts, where music lovers have a diverse lineup of events to look forward to this weekend, from hip-hop to gospel music, as well as the legendary sounds of Oliver Mtukudzi.
This Friday, Zimbabwe is going to be celebrating the late, great Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi in Norton for the Tuku Music Festival, celebrating 50 years of Tuku music at the Pakare Paye Music Center, where you can expect a whole host of performances from the likes of Feli Nandi, Killer T, and Baba Harare. All right, now on this Saturday, it's going to be heating up as all roads lead to Shamva, where Jah Praise will be headlining a performance that will be taking place there. Also expect special guest appearances from Merciless and King Shadi. Bringing it back to the capital for all you hip-hop lovers, you can look forward to the Zimmer Hip-Hop Culture Concert taking place at Jongwe Corner in the nation's capital. You can expect the country's top-performing hip-hop acts to be on stage. Volts, JT, Bling 4, T-Gonzi, amongst many others. Still in the nation's capital, this Saturday sees the Grateful Experiences concert taking place at the Harare International Conference Center, where gospel enthusiasts can look forward to a night of revival and worship. Some of the country's biggest gospel artists are going to be performing, but also looking forward to special guest appearances from South African gospel artist Rebecca Malope and Sipho Makabane. It's going to be top times here in the nation's capital. That's it. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
On to other news, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is scaling dizzy heights after the ZBC News 24-channel executive Kudakwashe Moyo won the prestigious Special Category Award at the inaugural African Media Awards in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for a documentary celebrating Zimbabwe's independence. Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll be giving you sport.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is a competition. Everything.
So here they come for the opening game, and away we are here at the African Cup of Nations.
Join our family meeting from the 21st of December to the 18th of January. Purchase a decoder for $30. AFCON 2025, live on SuperSport.
ZBC TV is driven by the corporation's vision to be the Zimbabwean voice of choice across multimedia platforms globally and be a customer-driven and competitive broadcaster. The national broadcaster is committed to giving you high-quality and innovative programming that projects the Zimbabwean voice, identity, diverse cultural heritage, enduring unity, peace, and shared national vision. To share your views, comments, or register complaints on our programming, contact us on WhatsApp number +263 714 975 328 round the clock. ZBC TV, your voice, your choice.
Welcome back. We now take a look at our sports news, and the crowning ceremony of the 2025 Soccer Star of the Year is underway at the Newlands Country Club in Harare. The Coach of the Year and Rookie of the Year will also be crowned. We'll now be linking up with Anashe Murombedzi, who is attending the awards at Newlands Country Club. Anashe, it's a good evening.
It's a good evening to you, M Squared, and I believe you are taking good care of the Sports Corner as I am here at the Newlands Country Club for the 2025 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League Awards ceremony. And as you can see behind me, the distinguished guests are looking exquisite, including me, of course, but don't mind the green. I'm not Caps United, but allow me to just mention the Zimbabwean legend. When we talk about Manchester City, he's a citizen like me. Benjani Mwarwari is among us. And also the event began with a beautiful melodious voice of Feli Nandi, the Zimbabwean top female artist who gave us a solo performance of the national anthem. And trust me, it felt new and it felt so refreshing and different. So this event is to honor the top Zimbabwean footballers who did their best throughout the season. If you remember very well, I love to call it was a dramatic season. If you remember, the last three to be relegated were decided on the final day, and we also saw the three giants, especially Dynamos and Highlanders, battling for survival, as well as Caps United. Also, we saw the new emerging 2025 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League champions Scotland writing new chapters of history in their debut season. They clinched the title just after Black Rhinos in 1984. So the 11-man shortlist today has yet to be decided who will take home the top prize, the 2025 Soccer Star of the Year. And today we are yet to witness the difference. As you remember, last year it was Walter Msona who took the title last year with the Simba Bora before he went to Scotland. So the 11 men, we see Scotland having two of their own. Kelvin Moyo happens to be the favorite, as well as Timon Machope. And we have got Mose, who are looking forward to see Billy Veremo and Abubakar Moffat. And we also see FC Platinum having Selemani, and also your traditional giants, Dynamo's captain Emmanuel Jalai, as well as Highlanders captain Andrew Mbeba. Above all, there is the top goal scorer, Washington Navaya, who also have made it to the top list. Also, Simba Bora have got most of the players, Emmanuel Ziocha, Ishani Sumauchi, as well as William Tole. So we are yet to witness who will take the soccer star of the year. Tonight, the day is here to see new faces. And there will be also an award for the coach of the year and also a rookie of the year. If you remember, Raya was the first Zimbabwean coach to take 2 titles in a row with the different clubs. Last year he was with the Simba Bora, and this year he is with Scotland. So you might never know, he might actually be the coach of the year. So maybe at the end of the bulletin, the event will still be ongoing, and I would love you guys, M2, to join me for drinks as we are yet to witness the new soccer star of the year. It's back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Anasha. I can see the smile. She's enjoying her time at the crowning ceremony of the 2025 Soccer Star of the Year, which is underway at the Newlands Country Club. She's not all smiles when she's here in studio, and I know why. She gets to drink on the job because she invited us. She said that we can come and join her after the bulletin. We now continue with our sports news. The Zimbabwe senior men national football team, the Warriors, have received a major boost after the arrival of Captain Marvelous Nakamba, who has joined the team ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations, that is the AFCON, which is going to be happening later on in Morocco this month. Nakamba has opted to come earlier than the stipulated FIFA international release window of 6 days. Dynamo's captain Emmanuel Jalai, who has recovered from injury, is also part of the team in camp ahead of the tournament, which kicks off on the 21st of this month. The Warriors have also been bolstered by the addition of the goalkeeper Takudzwa Chikosi and striker Tandolenkosi Ngwenya. Goalkeeper Martin Mapisa has, however, been excused for undisclosed reasons, and the Warriors are in Group B alongside Egypt, Angola and South Africa.
Now, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is scaling dizzy heights after the ZBC News 24 channel executive Kudakwashe Moyo won the prestigious Special Category Award at the inaugural African Media Awards in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for a documentary which celebrates Zimbabwe's independence.
The award was presented for the documentary Zimbabwe Celebrates 44 Years of Independence, which features young Zimbabweans telling the national story through music and personal testimonies.
We celebrate the custodians of our conscience. We celebrate those who promote our being as Africans. We celebrate our storytellers. We celebrate those who know that if they don't tell the story, then the regime changers will tell it for us. And in this special category, our winners or winner is... Oh, really? Kudakwashe Moyo and Sugar Chakonda of the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation.
The independence of many African states came at a steep price, as this report celebrates the 44 years of independence of Zimbabwe.
I would like to say thank you to my team back home that I work with, the young people that helped me tell this story of independence of Zimbabwe. And it is through them that we demonstrate that the story of Zimbabwe is alive and it will forever be told and told through our own way. I would also like to say thank you to my family for the patience and everything that they did through the long nights of planning, scripting, editing. And I would also like to say thank you to my corporation, ZBC. I'd like to say thank you to the government of Zimbabwe, because it is through them that I am here today.
It augurs well with the call made for African storytellers to present Afrocentric narratives with integrity and a sense of ownership. This continental accolade is a significant validation of ZBC's journalism and the Second Republic's media transformation agenda, proving that the Zimbabwean stories told with authenticity can achieve the highest recognition on the African stage. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News.
Well, congratulations again to Kudakwashe Moyo for the prestigious Special Category Award at the inaugural African Media Awards in Addis Ababa. You can see how special that award is because it overtook our sports. You see.
Well, we have to head over to Newlands Country Club. We got an invitation to Anashi, so we have to wrap this up and go to Newlands Country Club. That's where the action is happening. But thank you for joining us on the main news here on ZBC. Have a pleasant weekend.
Good night.